Hi, everybody. I am about to be getting on another call, but I wanted to make sure I got this word out. Many of you don't realize that one of the reasons you're still in this, and it's hard to realize this, is because your marriage, your husband, your wife, is still an idol. Okay? Now, this is something that's really hard to hear because there's times that we think that our spouse isn't an idol anymore. But the Lord knows deep, deep, deep within the soul whether or not it is. One way I love to ask clients is to know if your spouse is still an idol. Let's say the Lord told you right now, I'm not going to restore the marriage, I changed my mind. How would you feel about that? What would project out of you? What would be on your mind? If the answer is you'd be upset, but you're so content with the Lord that you'd be just fine, then you have overcame that idolatry. And idolatry can show up in so many ways. You could have idolatry just with something silly like coffee. But then when it comes to humans, that's a lot harder to break that. It's a lot harder. When I tell you that idolatry leads to destruction, it leads to destruction. Idolatry can show up in so many ways, and we just don't know on a day-to-day basis. How you're going to start finding those idols is by things that you wouldn't be able to give up or live without. Like if God told you had to stop them, how would you feel? That's how you're going to be able to identify your idols. But your spouse being an idol, how could God bring something like that back if it was able to bring the end of you, okay? Or have you come to the end of you? He doesn't want us to live like that. He doesn't want us to live like that at all. He wants us to live a life full of joy and peace in every circumstance in our life. Whether it is traumatic, bad situations, good situations, like Paul says, be content in all things. So how are you going to feel? Because I'm telling you right now, things aren't going to be perfect. But if your spouse wakes up on the wrong side of the bed one day, not very nice, maybe they forget your anniversary, maybe, they're just overtired, overworked, or you're in a bad mood. Think about that, guys. We're human. We're going to hurt each other. We're not going to be perfect. But what makes us be content in all things is the Lord. I'm telling you right now, guys, the reason why I'm content with peace and joy is from the Lord. Nobody else. I miss so badly my dad. Oh God, do I miss him. I miss my nunny so much. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. I miss my aunt, my uncles, my cousins that passed away as well. And I'm thinking about the holidays coming around again. And oh God, would I not give to sit at the table and hear another one of my nunny's stories. I would do anything to hear, like yesterday I was watching The Cable Guy, if anybody knows that movie. And it was one of my dad's favorite movies, and we used to watch it, Jim Carrey, Matthew Broderick. And he loved the basketball scene. And I watched it and I just cried, because everybody goes on with their life, But here I am, 2 years later, still missing him as if he just was gone. And you could still, hear the person's voice. I could still hear my nanny saying Meg, my dad saying Meg. I could still hear them. And the reason I'm bringing them up is because they were the ones that were extra close to me. They affected me the most. But I was telling my friend this today. I don't want to get emotional. That if your identity is in people, how are you going to be able to go on? I miss them so much, but my identity isn't in being a daughter or a granddaughter anymore. I long for them. And I miss them. But we know they're not coming back here. But I am content with the Lord. And you have to go through it, guys, to get to that point. Because if the Lord told you he wasn't going to restore them, and you had to live your life without them, how would you feel? My mom's identity was in being a wife. It was in being a daughter. It was in being a mother. And right now, my dad's gone. They were together 35 years. And he passed away right before he was going to be ready to retire. They were going to travel the world together. They were going to go to Australia for their anniversary, actually, and hold the koala bears. And that didn't happen. My nanny, her mother, she loved her so much, They would be on the phone for hours when they talked. Best friend. And we already know my brother's story, where it's like she feels like she's losing her son right now at the same time. So her husband, her mother, her son. We're not even getting into the other relatives that passed away. But her identity was in all of that. And then I'm so busy with my life right now, I can't be with her every day. Like, you already know what goes into this, guys. I'm working for the Lord right now, and I'm with her, but not like I was. I don't talk to her like I was. God had to even break that right there, because it's not that he doesn't want us to be close with our parents, but we truly have to leave and cleave. So we're doing our own things right now. And right now, God's showing her to have her identity in him and not the world. So her identity isn't in being a wife anymore, a daughter, a mother. She's literally in agony, and everything around her is agonizing. But she has to eat this bread of adversity and water of affliction. Like Isaiah chapter 30, 18 through 22 says, in order to truly see the Lord. So, I'm saying this to say, guys, if somebody can impact your mood to the degree to where you can't have joy again, I encourage you all to watch The Shack. Watch the movie The Shack. You're going to cry your eyes out, but if you want to really see healing in a different way, watch The Shack. That's really going to show you God's character. I love you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful night. I'm going to be answering more questions, but I wanted to make sure that I got this out there, and I hope it's blessed you. I'm going to be getting on another call. If you would like to book a call with me and do your work, especially your inner work, and somebody that understands, who's been through it, you can email me at deadmarriagesredeemed@gmail.com. I repeat, deadmarriagesredeemed@gmail.com. You can also come on over to our Facebook group. We would love to have you. Dead Marriages Redeemed. I repeat, Dead Marriages Redeemed. Don't do this alone, guys. God bless.